Welcome back to another deck profile video. In today's video we are covering Gigaseadramon. There are going to be a couple of cards you're probably going to ask why on earth are they in here. However, I may explain that at the time of reveal. However, this deck is super good fun. It's definitely one of my favourites of the year so far. And the new level 6 is just top notch. So we're going to dive straight in as always, and we're going to start with our Digi-Eggs, which we're only running a 4 of. We're running the BT7 Bukamon. Its inherited effect is your turn once per turn, but when you play a Digimon via an effect from this Digi-Evolution cards, you gain 1 memory. Don't hold me to the wording of that, obviously, but naturally you still gain a memory if you play Digimon from its sources. It's still the best egg for the deck, unless you prefer draw power elsewhere, but otherwise this is my preference. In terms of the rookies, I'm starting off with Crabmon from EX8. Its on-play effect is that you give one of your Digimon blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, and its inherited effect is that of jamming. Essentially, this is the egg, this is the level 3 rather that you want in the breeding area to start building on top of. Having jamming is just invaluable to the deck, but being able to play it out as well to give something blocker is actually very handy. The next 4 off that we're running is Sangomon from BT19. It's on play as you reveal the top 3 cards of the deck. You add 1 card with Aqua or Sea Animals in its traits, as well as 1 card with a Liberator trait among them to the hand. You return everything else to the bottom of the deck. Inherited wise, its end of attack once per turn, gain 1 memory. The Liberator effect is actually pretty handy for this deck, especially with the Tamers that you'll see later on. But yeah, a solid searcher, just generally good 4 off. The next 4 off I'm running is the new Crabmon X Antibody from BT20. It's got both on play and when Digivolving. One of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle until the end of the opponent's turn. And it's when attacking once per turn. Inherited effect is that if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you get to draw 1 card. This is just stupidly good. Digivolve for 0 over the Crabmon I showed you earlier. Swing with jamming, and the fact that it can't be deleted in battle either. It's just really bizarre. Right, so moving on to our champions. So I'm running a 4 of Seadramon from the promotional line. On play, when Digivolving, one of your Digimon can't be deleted in battle until the end of your opponent's turn. Its inherited effect is your turn once per turn effect. When any of your effects play another Digimon, one of your blue Digimon gains Rush for the turn. If you've got the money, spend your money on these cards. However, if not, there are plenty of other Seadramons that you can use. But this is just my preference. I'm also running a 2 off of Shellmon from BT19. It's when Digivolving effects. If you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you may play 1 Yao from your hand without paying the cost. Its inherited effect is an end of attack once per turn where you gain 1 memory. As you have probably noticed, that is pretty much the Tamer we will be using as part of this deck, and that's why we're running a 2 of this. But yeah, solid card. Generally gets those Tamers out for no cost. The next 4 of I'm using is Seadramon X Antibody from BT20. It's on play when Digivolving effect is return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then if it's got Seadramon or X Antibody in its sources, one of your opponent's Tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn. Its inherited effects when attacking once per turn. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, you draw 1 card. It's a good 4 of for this deck. And it Digivolves for 0 over Seadramon. Ultimates wise, we're running 8 in total. They're all Mega Seadramon. The first one is from EX8. On play when Digivolving, one of your Digimon unsuspends. When attacking once per turn, if you have 1 or more memory, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until the end of their turn. Its inherited effects are when attacking once per turn by placing one of your other Digimon as this Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution card. This Digimon unsuspends. So this is the more aggressive of the 2. However, our next 4 of is the Mega Seadramon X Antibody from BT20. It's on play when Digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then if it's got Mega Seadramon or X Antibody in its sources, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until the end of their turn. Its inherited effects are your turn effect only, but this Digimon's attack target cannot change. This is just very, very good. I'm glad they finally allowed us to have this card. In terms of megas, I'm running a 3 of Gigaseadramon Ace. It's on play when Digivolving effect is De-Digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of their play cost 7 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Its all turns effect is when you have 1 or more memory, none of your opponent's Digimon can suspend. This is obviously an ace card as well, so it can blast Digivolve over your level 5s. It's a good 3 of to have in this deck, and it's a super strong card. Next up we have Gigaseadramon from BT20. It's got security attack +1, reboot and blocker. Comes with a when digivolving and when attacking effect once per turn. From the Digivolution cards of this Digimon, with Metal Seedramon or X antibody in its sources, you may play one level 5 one level 5 or lower Digimon card without paying the cost. All turns effect once per turn, but when any of your Digimon are played from Digivolution cards, you can De-Digivolve to one of your opponent's Digimon. Next up, I'm running 2 of Gigaseadramon from EX8. This is just a personal preference. However, when Digivolving, return up to a 14 play costs worth of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of the deck. If you DNA Digivolve, you can then play up to a 12 play cost total worth of DS trait Digimon from its Digivolution cards. So all turns effects, whilst you have 1 or more memory, none of your DS trait Digimon are affected by your opponent's Digimon effects. Whilst you have 1 or less, your opponent cannot activate Digimon on play effects. In terms of Tamers, we have our memory setter here. So Yao from BT19, your turn effect, when any of your Digimon with Aqua or Cyanimal in any of their traits attack, you can suspend this Tamer to place 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card with Aqua or Cyanimal in any of its traits from your hand as their bottom Digivolution card. Security effect, naturally, as always, you play this card. In terms of option cards, I'm running 1 blue scramble. So the main effect is that ultimately you can Digivolve one of your blue Digimon into another blue Digimon card with the cost reduced by 3, and then you add this card to your battle area. The start of turn effect is if your opponent has a Digimon, you can activate delay. You return 1 blue Digimon card from your trash to the top of the deck. Then, if you don't have a Digimon, you can play a blue Digimon card with 2000 EP or less from your trash without paying the cost. Similarly, that's the same security effect as well. Blue memory boost, I'm running a 2 of. You reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, you add 1 blue Digimon card among them, and then bottom deck the rest. Its delay effect in this case is simply to gain 2 memory. I still believe gaining some memory is very helpful for the deck. As you may have seen, Gigaseadramon is a cost of 5 to Digivolve in some scenarios, and very similarly the same with Gigaseadramon. So yeah, 2 of this is actually very handy. The next option card I'm running is Mental Training. I'm running a full play set of this card. This card suits this deck so well. You've revealed the top 2 cards of the deck. You add 1 blue card among them to your hand and then bottom deck the other. Its main delay effect, however, is in this case you can reduce the next Digivolution cost by 2, so long as it's a blue Digimon card being Digivolved into. But yeah, this is just a solid card for the deck. If you get the right setup, this deck can do a lot of crazy stuff. The last option card I'm running is X Antibody. The main effect is you place this card underneath one of your Digimon without X Antibody in its sources already. And then its inherited effects, ultimately, effects can't trash this card. As well as when attacking, you can Digivolve into a Digimon card with the X Antibody trait. And its security effect is also gain 1 memory and then simply add this card to the hand. But that's it. That's our 50 card deck for Gigaseadramon. On the screen now, you'll see the deck profile that I've made. By all means, as always, copy, paste, tweak, make it your own thing. Do what you would like to do with this deck. This is just my preference currently. I'm always changing decks as I go along anyway. It really does depend on your local scene as well as your regional scene, that kind of stuff. But as always, thank you very much for watching the video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, and take care.